son and I have a tree company. This was a removal we did about a year and a half ago. I brought the logs home, called a local sawyer to come out with his bandsaw mill. He slabbed these all up for me, and I've had them drying for about a year and a half. With black walnut, the cambium layer, the white outer living, has a lot of tension in it. If you leave the white, from what I understand, it's going to cause more of the cracking and checking. The ends were treated. That didn't help in this regard. This curve right here is something I like to work with what exists already. I want the wood to kind of tell me what it's looking for me to do. Upstairs in our dining area, we have an apothecary. It is all homegrown herbs, you know, lavenders and mints, and she also does teas. So I've created some tea boxes and things, and I've already made one of these canning shelves. It was a different design. This is black walnut. That one was river birch, which it came out looking really good. I may throw a photo in here. The pattern here, because they're the large canning jars, the half-gallon, the regular quart jars, but there's smaller ones, bigger ones. So I need 14-inch shelves on the bottom, and then an 11-inch shelf, and then we're gonna have a makeup that's 5-6 inches, something like that. But because the jars are larger, it needs to stick out more at the bottom than the little jelly jars, right? So what I want to do is incorporate this curve on the front edge. As we slice it up, it'll pretty well follow the grain here. This will bow out a little bit, creating a little protective space, you know, so when you're walking by, you're not kicking the jars. And then it's going to taper and slender and become a little more elegant, a little more beautiful, I would think. Like I said, this is all wood I took down. I've got a matching pair, so the exact same crack, and that's what we're going to work with. And whatever's left, somehow I'm going to turn into the shelves for the unit. We only need 3 shelves, so it shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. On a side note, I've spent a little bit of money and have acquired some professional sound gear. I have 2 omnidirectional mics right now. I also have a seismic microphone, which I guess it's not really a microphone in the sense it doesn't create audible waves, or it doesn't. The microphone doesn't consume audible waves. It consumes vibrations, which pretty close, slightly different, but that will feel what's going on with the equipment. The voice, the dialogue should be a little clearer, a little more present. However, the other is going to add the depth, the feeling, especially in a good set of headphones or large speakers. If you consume it with a decent pair of headphones, you should really get quite a different experience. And I'm hoping that that's something you enjoy and it's worthwhile. If it was a waste of time, comment that. Let me know. I'll quit doing it. But I really hope, I'm a bit of a nerd in several regards. The quality of sound. Music has always been something that's really gotten to me. But there is a difference when sounds give you a chill. When they add to the feeling of what you're doing. So hopefully you can experience just a little bit of that in this video. It's my first try at it, so hey, if it's horrible, you can just tell me I need to work on it. So I'm good with criticism, generally. You know, if you criticize me as being too cute, too beautiful, I can accept that. if you'll get this, but these are the mics in the way a little bit. So I'm hoping that you get a little left to right sound. So, you know, again, for your listening pleasure. Now also, I'm right-handed, so my technique is not the way it should be. This one is set up with a lot deeper of a cut. It's probably 3 times as thick. But it's going well. Ideally, I wanted 43 inches for the uprights. This is a project for my wife, as I've already stated. The beauty of what's going on is this was a standing stem that had already been topped. I felled the tree, I hauled the tree. I called a guy to mill it up. He milled it up in my backyard about 30 foot from where the camera is. I stored it, I dried it. Basically, you know, everything from the design, the idea, working with the wood, blah, blah. It's all me. So that makes it a little more special. You know, if you don't have that ability, I'm sure you have other abilities. This is just one I was fortunate to work with, to develop with what I do for a living. Now, the beauty in the wood I have is that it comes from a matched tree. The colors will be a perfect match. There's I guess a symbiosis of sorts that I find appealing to the project. So I really would like to constrain the whole build to out of these 2 boards. They are a matched pair. I don't have a third matched pair. I have more from the same log, but you know, it's that succession of these being so close to each other. I don't know. Is it important? No, absolutely not. It's a bunch of BS, but I like it, and that just kind of makes it pretty cool. So I'll go over some stuff because I don't know if I told you. I have obviously 2 mics, one here and one over here. I have this is actually a guitar tuning mic. So it is the Korg CM300. And anything I do on the wood, you should be able to hear pretty well. I'm gonna, you know, in processing and getting this video made, I'll try to keep those levels tolerable. But again, it's details, you know, the 3D sound This is not binaural, but you know, it should be a good stereo setup and it should come across rather clear. Unfortunately, because I'm making a video, it's hard for me to have headphones on and pay attention and dial everything in. But post-processing should help that. I also have my little contact back here. So anything I do should get picked up as well. Again, maybe a total loss, a total waste of time, effort, attention. We'll see. These are trimmed up. The shelves, as you just saw, I put a dovetail on it, a sliding dovetail, and I trimmed off the ends of it. So I trimmed off the ends on the bandsaw, so they will slide in. This one's going to be quite a bit forward, so you know, looks horrible. Then this one will be a little bit forward, so it'll look horrible. And then this one will be back a little, so I'll have to trim off the backside. I laid these out back to back, so there's no alignment issues. If you measure individually, there's a possibility you're going to have a small problem. What I'm worried about is the tear out. And, you know, I've got it blocked on this side, so it can't, it's a wide channel, wider than the bit. So I can cut this side and then cut that side. So I'm trying, we'll see. Okay. It actually pretty well came out perfect. Made a lot of noise for the size I thought I moved it. Yep. It's came out a little bit loose. Now, I also need to, when I bandsawed it, I did not get a good cleanup there. On any of them, it's just not a process I've done yet. That, it's not bad, but it is not the fit I wanted. So, need to figure out something for that corner. round off that, and then I started to do a little notch that I'll have to get cleaned up, and that's for the baseboard. You know, I want it to fit nice and tight. I could have left that out, but it would sit about an inch away from the wall. I did that little bit of cleanup. It was small, tedious stuff, not worth watching. But now I've also cut those corners off. All right, so I've got the router. It's got a 45-degree chamfer bit with a bearing on it. And I'm going to do inside, outside, front, back. I will not do the bottom, but everything else is going to get it all the way around. And then for this corner here, I'm going to have to come through with the chisel and square that away here in a little bit. One big thing I have left that I still need to take care of is the shelves are a bit short. So I'm going to have a slide-in dovetail plug that I need to try to match the grain a little bit. If you want to watch sanding, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to bother to film that because it's going to take a while. That's after the second wipe down. So now I'm just going to rotate the cloth. In this case it was five wipes. 6 on that one, and I got to a point where no, let's not. So the answer for that wise old owl so the answer for the wise old owl in that commercial from the 80s, it is 5 wipes to get those ready. All right, so I have Rubio Monocoat. This is the walnut, and that's what I'm going to put on here. Hopefully it looks good. The decision's already been made, so I'm going to run with it. Maybe not the best answer. I have had an issue with these where the cap freezes on it because I didn't do a very good job cleaning it. So that's my way around getting in there. Three units A to 1 unit of B. Those syringes are super cheap and an easy way to measure, especially when you're not doing a large volume. And then the the white 3M pads.